Human timelines. Nobody knows who set them, but somehow we feel compelled to follow it. Maybe from where you're coming from, you should have finished school by 24. If you're a lady, you should be married by 23. And if you're not married by 23, you probably have fallen behind. You should have gotten your first house maybe by 25 if you're from the West. And if maybe you're not from the West and you haven't gotten your first house by 25, that's still okay because we understand. But if by 35 you don't have a house yet, then maybe there's now a cause for concern. We don't know who actually sets this timeline or this program, but somehow we are all compelled to follow this pattern. And if for some reason we start to think that we are not on pace with this imaginary timeline set by no one but for everyone, then somehow we start to feel bad. On today's episode of 30 Plus Click, we'll be delving deep into this phenomenon and talking about ways we can break out of this pattern so that we don't put unnecessary, undue stress on ourselves. But without further ado, hey guys! Welcome or welcome back to another episode of 30 Plus Click with Max and Yo Yo. We are so excited to have you here today. And as you heard from my introduction, I want to tell you that this concept of pressure on yourself, I don't know where it's coming from actually. I don't know who set these timelines. Yo Yo, do you know where these timeline problems are coming from? And it's like as if you don't make it by a certain age bracket, then you failed. Have you experienced this before?
Of course, I'm human. And by being human, there's so many subtle pressure and so many dotted timelines. It's generational, it will never stop. It's passed on from the previous generation, and now we own it, and we're also going to pass it on. And so, as a mother, sometimes I go, "You're 9 years old. You should be doing this and you should be doing that." And so I'm a corporate, right? And so that
Yeah.
timeline, by virtue of raising up children, I'm subtly passing it on to this innocent girl that doesn't even know what I am talking about. And so it keeps going on and going on. It comes from our parents down to us, then we pass it to our children, they pass it to their children, and never end.
I also want us to go back to our childhoods too. When we look at things that have shaped our lives over the course of the years, maybe is there any other thing that you can identify along the journey that says, hey, you know, why did I feel the need to hit this mark at this certain age? Like, where was that coming from?
Yeah, I do. But in as much as you have breath in your nostrils, every human has this level of being competitive. So it can be healthy, it can be unhealthy. And so if it is very healthy, you're able to manage it and you keep it very healthy, it comes with that push. There is this constant reminder you need to do something differently, you need to move forward, and which is very good. But if you flip to the unhealthy side of this competition, oh my God, that's when this it comes and you're not able to hit what you have set for yourself. There's so many outcomes. One can be depression, one can be envy, one can be jealousy, one can be, I'm not good enough, and you just stop. So, how then can you measure and stay consistently on the healthy competition in your mind? And so you're not flipping to the unhealthy side of the competition. Competition, it's good if you're able to keep it positively. And growing up, I think one thing our institutions, the education did that was not right was to label this child took first, this child took second, this child took third. That was where all this, self-doubts, that's where it was breeding. On the West side, they do not label that. You see the report card that come from school, there is no first, there is no second, there is no third. They just rate the children on their own abilities, and there is no level of comparison. Yeah.
I love that you actually brought that up in terms of, where we grew up from, where we're coming from in those report cards, because I think that subtle, that kind of shaped that competitive nature. And it, because from the start, you're thinking, I want to be first, I want to be second. And then imagine yourself where you're the child who was in school as a kid, and you're taking first, society begins to plan your life for you because they're like, okay, you're the brilliant kid, so we expect you by 20, you should have graduated from the university, you should have landed a job in Google, you should have gone on to get married, etc., because we expect great things from you. And imagine what now happens to you. You start to feel the weight of that pressure, and before you know it, you're living a life that you're so caged. I tell a story about myself, Yo-Yo. A few years ago, as you very well know, you probably very well did yourself, I packed up my life, from my home country, and then I moved I did the great migration situation, and then I moved to a different country and started over. And I think one of the things that I did not realize at the time was how difficult it was going to be. Because when I was leaving my home country to go to a different country, I had already built a certain level of repute. But I think what I did not recognize at the time was I was going back to ground zero, right? And then when I went to this other country and I expected the things were going to be exactly the same, I'm going to hit the ground running, and that didn't happen. So I realized, gosh, I have set myself back maybe 5 years to start afresh again. And then I look at my friends who were back there, back home in my home country, and they were still high flyers. And kudos to you girls, you guys are watching. Love it for you. Thank you so much for the motivations during those times. But I look back on those times and I see them. And I remember having a conversation with one of my very good friends, and I felt like I was stuck and I felt bad, and I felt, like my mates have gone far. Why am I? And no, nothing, nothing against retail, but like instead of being in corporate, I'm now in retail. Like, what am I doing? Did I make the right decision? And I started to doubt myself, and I had nights where I doubt myself. And I remember, one of the conversations that she said to me in that period, and it's a line that sticks with me to this very day. I tell you, she said, "You take a step back so that you can move forward." And I found that profound. Because sometimes, when you break out of that mode of what expectation is or what people think your life should be at a certain time, it might look like taking a step back. It might look like you're being stuck. You understand? But no, you're just reconfiguring. Even when you take a Google Drive, or sorry, not a Google Drive, you're taking a car and you put in your GPS, and you put a car and say, "Oh, I'm going from point A to point B." And let's say, for example, you miss your turn. What does it do? It reconfigures. Sometimes it can be quicker than others, but sometimes it takes a while to like find the next available route to reconfigure you. It doesn't mean necessarily that you're stuck. It just means that you're connecting to your next level. And honestly, when I understood that in that mindset, it helped me move forward in a season of my life where I felt maybe I did the wrong choice by actually packing up and moving here.
Well, I love the fact that your friend was able to let you know that sometimes you need to take a step backwards. You can see things holistically and you'll be able to move forward. And also, one point I really thought about when we started thinking about talking about this topic was counting your blessings. And I know that at that point where your friend mentioned that, I'm sure you were able to have this little bit of sense of gratitude, like, okay. So when
Yeah.
we decided we're going to talk about this topic this week, I was really happy because this is November, almost the mid of November. We have about maybe 6 to 7 weeks left to end 2024. And so this is that point where a lot of people they're trying to either feel excited or they're feeling so sad or they are trying to feel so worthless because what did I achieve in 2024? What did I do with my time? The most painful aspect will be what did I do with all the salary I've made since January to this month? And please don't go further than by picking up your calculator to do some maths. If you do that, you'll be so sad. I have made this amount this year. I could not even save anything. Then they'll go to the wardrobe. What did I buy? And the next thing, who did I give my money to? And so all this would either make you so sad, would either make you so depressed, and it would either make you so worthless. However, just stop, count your blessings. I know you did not achieve a lot on your goals, But count your blessings. You made it to November. We celebrate that. You kept your job to November. We are happy for you. You have your family. Maybe you lost somebody in the family. We're so sorry about that loss, but God spared your life. And so remember when we talk about gratitude as an attitude? At this point, if you have practiced that gratitude as an attitude, you just have one day of the weekend where you just reflect, oh, this week was bad, but I'm grateful. I'm grateful I went to work today and I came back. I'm grateful I have somebody to just pick up my phone to call and the person picks. I have friends. And if you don't know what you should be grateful for, 30 plus click, we have a checklist of gratitude list. One, be thankful for internet. Be thankful that you have data. Be thankful for YouTube, for Facebook, for Instagram, for TikTok, for those down moments. I know you slided into TikTok just to watch some comics and you felt good. Be thankful for your families. Be thankful that you can see, you have legs, you can walk. You're not paying for oxygen to survive. There's so many little things that we take for granted that should be the main big reasons why we should be thankful. And when you've done with that point, go back to your list. Sometimes feelings can just be a sense of perception. And also, feelings can be very complex and very multi layered because it's all in your head. We need to transfer that feelings to your journals. So pick up your pen, pick up a book, pause this video, and make a list. Why are you feeling this way? Why do you feel you're stuck? What area of your life you think that's making you feel this way? When you try to label these feelings, when you are able to label these feelings, you put them into categories, then you are able to evaluate it to see whether you really did not make progress. But I bet you, if you're able to label these feelings, you will see that yes, you did not fly, you did not run, but you made some baby steps. And then you're grateful though for those baby steps. So sometimes that feeling of being stuck can be resolved if you can move it from your head to your journal and do an evaluation. That's it, what.
As I was listening to you, it just occurred to me. I am so thankful for everybody who has watched the episode up until this point. Thank you for watching. Can you consider subscribing? It is absolutely free because we're putting together content that is absolutely going to make a difference. If you find that you like this kind of content that we are sharing, the positivity, the encouragement, because this is the kind of community that we are creating, please share our video with other people. We need the help. We want to grow. And so we need you as we go on this journey. So subscribe. It is that big red button right there and click the notification bell while you're at it. Now back to the video. We talked about, just to give a bit of a recap, we talked about where the pressure came from. It's subtle, it's generational. We talked about how to overcome it so far in terms of like, you know, turning back, taking a bird's eye view to see the bigger picture. But what happens when you actually take a bird's eye view to see the bigger picture and you're like, hmm, maybe I could have done better, and not from a destructive place, maybe from a constructive place. If you take a bird's eye view and you see that, maybe I should have done better, there is no point in feeling stuck. Remember how I say I took a step back in my personal life to move forward. I remember those days of when I was dredging through the snow, going to retail. This is after years of being at the top level in corporate, and I was like, did I make a mistake? But I was studying, I was improving my skills, right? I was making sure that I was a better professional so that when I come back, when I finish reconfiguring or incubating, as I like to say sometimes, I can come up with a boom. So here's my thought to you. Don't let people put pressure on you. It's okay. Everybody have a life to live, and everybody's life is different. We're not all running the same race. We're not all living the same life. However, if you do that vantage point, bird's eye view reflection of where you are at in life, and you think, I could have done better, well, here's your wake up call. go do better. You.
Yeah. So when it comes to people putting pressure, sometimes the pressure can come from you. And if the pressure is coming from you in your space, all about you and you alone, I want to applaud you because it's not everyone that has the opportunity to just pause and put some form of pressure on themselves. And so it is good, it's good energy. So turn it into something. So if you're listening to us now and you're at that point where you're putting some form of good pressure on yourself, that is good. Take that pressure and put it into your journal. What would you have done differently? That way, you would see where you have gone and you would also see where you need support. It is never too late to seek for support because one counsel, one word, one bridge between you is just a bridge between you and your goal. And so when you find that support and you seek it, you see you're able to just project and achieve your goals. And we also acknowledge that 2024 has been a very dynamic one. It's been so filled with so many ups and downs. However, the challenging times would always help us to appreciate those good moments and never sweep your good moments away. Just pause and just remember, oh, I got this phone, smile about it. Oh, I was able to save this money, smile about it. Oh, I made 5 new friends in 2024, smile about it.
Tell us what time you felt stuck in life and how this content is motivating you to move forward or how you move forward on your own. We want to hear back from you. So put those in the comment section.
And also whether you're approaching your 20s or you just clocked 30s or you are way above 30, our content here is just to help you and very inspiring. And don't forget to click the thumbs button. And if this is your first time, you're connecting with 30 Plus Click and you're just visiting us for the first time, thank you and welcome to the community. We kindly ask you to subscribe and don't forget to turn on the notification button so that you can always get this inspiring comments from us, this motivating comment from us. And it's a community we're growing together. And so thank you for staying with us and see you next time. Goodbye.